Hello and welcome back to Homeschool Together. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have a chance, head down into the show notes, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, head over to our podcast, subscribe, like, notify yourself of when those new things are coming out, as well as if you'd like to support the podcast down in our Gumroad, link down just below right there. Click it. You can support the podcast.
Subscribe all the.
You can support it all. You have all of it. I'm bouncing off of it. Anyway, so this week we were in the Cretaceous period, the longest of all the dinosaur periods, and the most fun, most active, most diverse. Real good time. We had a good time this week.
And so this is continuing our series on the Blossom and Root Build Your Library combo for prehistory. As this is coming out, we have a podcast and YouTube video too, and we will link it down in the show notes, where we actually interview Christina Garner, the creator of Blossom and Root, about prehistory. So if you want to hear from the creator about this great curriculum, go ahead and listen to that too. Check it out. Absolutely. She's awesome, and we really appreciate getting to talk to her again.
It was a lot of fun chatting with her, and we really appreciate her. It's very hard to get on her time schedule, and it was very generous. Busy lady, as you all know if you followed it.
So we got a chance to talk with her about prehistory, and we talked with her about a few of the other pieces of curriculum. So if you're a Blossom and Root family, definitely don't miss those interviews.
Don't miss it. Okay, so we always like to have something that we focus on for the week to help drive home the concepts. This week we continued the idea of diversification that we had from last week. As the Earth and the plate tectonics began to split the whole planet into all these various land masses, lots of wild and crazy and fun different dinosaurs began to appear. And then also at the end of Cretaceous period, dinosaurs had to come to an end. So we talked about the big mass extinction event and just extinction events in general, kind of harkening back to the Permian extinction that we talked about a little bit earlier in the series and earlier in the studies. Trying to tie those two things together as like big cataclysmic events that really reshaped and redirected all the focus of life on Earth. And we wanted to kind of bring that kind of to a close. And it was really nice. Now, after Cretaceous, there's one more week of dinosaurs, but it was nice to kind of like, narrow it down. Then last week is going to be talking, I think, about pterosaurs and a little bit about mammals, which would be a nice springboard into.
So that happens after the mass extinction event?
Yeah, so after Cretaceous, there's one more week where they kind of just talked about flying dinosaurs and mammals that happened during the dinosaur period. And then we get into the post-dinosaur time period.
So we're going to kind of hop a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hopping at the end. So when you finish Cretaceous, you're going to come back one more time, talk about flying dinosaurs and mammals that were, living during these time periods. And then you move on from dinosaurs.
Right, and so maybe once we finish that, it would be good to give our thoughts about whether or not we should put them together before talking about mass extinction. Because I'm curious if our daughter will be confused about thinking like, wait a minute, we just talked about how the dinosaurs died off. Yeah. Now we're saying that we're talking about flying dinosaurs again. Exactly. So that will be interesting. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the first of the spine books. Really good one, the Smithsonian Dinosaurs Prehistoric Life. This is a big one.
This is one that we added.
I think we've referred to this in a couple episodes ago as the Black Book, and this was
right. So DK Smithsonian has put out just a series of different books. We've looked at a bunch of them. This is another one, and this is got more real life pictures of fossils and things.
Lots of fossil pictures.
Right. That's what most of this is. Whereas the dinosaur book and dinosaur exclamation point are a lot of computer renderings.
So there are renderings in here, but they render what you see in the fossils, and which is really amazing. I was actually showing this one to my father the other day, and he was really intrigued in looking at all the fossils. He was just amazed at looking at all the pictures and
I think this one's interesting
because how they piece together the actual 3D rendering from this kind of craggy looking fossil that are on the page. But
I think it's nice to give that other perspective, not just these really cool computer generated drawings of dinosaurs, but the real life parts. This book is absolutely for an older learner, like a middle school, high school, or an adult. But the pictures alone, and I think that's what we've mostly been using it for, is just to, like you said, give the other side of that coin about, you see this really neat rendering of this dinosaur. Well, here's the fossil that it would have come from.
Well, and it's wild too, is a lot of the dinosaurs we're starting to realize as we watch a lot of the Eons videos and read a little bit more, is a lot of these dinosaurs we struggle to have a complete skeleton. Even though we're doing 3D renderings and these beautiful dinosaurs, and maybe even in some 3D movies and stuff, we'll have a full rendering of it, but we may actually not have a complete skeletal fossil, maybe like 80% or even 20%. They were trying to piece these things together and try to get an idea of what it looks like. A lot of these dinosaurs, we don't have a full skeleton or a full fossil record of them. So it's pretty cool to see that here in the book. This book was broken up by time period as well. So if you're a time period focused learner, obviously a lot older than I say third grade, maybe I'm thinking maybe fifth, sixth, seventh grade. It's a lot higher level.
Yeah, a lot higher.
A lot higher level than what maybe a third grader would need, but we did enjoy using this book, did enjoy perusing through it. Every single time period is also broken up into subsections that covers the plants, the time period in general, so like the climate, the geology, and then they talk about the various plants and that existed at that time, invertebrates, so you'll get some insects, you'll get some underwater sea life, then also vertebrate life. So they cover all these different chunks, so you can get whatever slice you might be most interested in. They give it to you, and again, it's not just 1 or 2 pages. It might be like 20 or 30 pages per subsection, per time period. So. Yeah. Really, really enjoyable. Really,
I feel like
really
this
fun.
is a very comprehensive book, and if you have, a junior high or older
this feels
learner,
more like a textbook.
Yeah, it's much more like a textbook, but we thought it was interesting, and we wanted to give you this perspective. If you do see it on the shelf, and you're particularly interested in fossil stuff, this would be a great choice to look through. But this is like way too advanced for elementary learners. But we enjoyed getting it from our library and looking through it. If you have an older student, a teen or something that's really into dinosaurs, this would be a really good pickup.
Or you as an adult, if you're looking to maybe get a little bit more of a higher level understanding, not read some of the smaller, more youth-oriented books, and you wanted to, in the evening, catch up a little bit higher level, this is something you could do as well.
Absolutely.
So, there you go.
So
I know, it's so heavy. It's such a big book. The Dinosaur Hunters.
Yeah, so this is a step into reading book, and I'm pretty darn sure, and it was before Christmas, and everything before Christmas is a little hazy, but I believe that we did not read this during the Mesozoic overview when we were supposed to, because we were very busy that week doing a whole week of Build Your Library and a whole week of Blossom and Root at the same time.
And that's okay if you can't get to a book.
Right. So I read this to our daughter, and it's just a really great overview of the art of archaeology and
the fossil process,
the whole process of how they find the bones, digging them up, and getting them back to the museum, and some of the first paleontologists. So this is a really great book. This is above a first grade level as well, but our daughter really enjoyed it. I think it's probably more like a second grade and above, but it was good. It was pretty short. Our kids really liked it. I think all the step into reading books are really good, and they're such a low cost investment that I feel like they're great to have around.
And you never know, when she gets older, she pick this book up and read it.
So this was a Build Your Library recommendation book, and we really enjoyed it. So we can definitely give it our recommendation.
We talked about it a little bit more at length last week, so we won't do too much this week, but we have a Choose Your Adventure. So could you survive in prehistoric times?
And this is the Cretaceous one.
This was Cretaceous. So there was a I think it's Jurassic, Cretaceous, and then Ice Age as well. So we'll be bringing this back maybe in 2 or 3 weeks to read this as well. So we read it in the Cretaceous period time frame again, and it was lots of peril, and we had to make decisions, and
lots of choose your own adventure. So if you got kids that love that,
we died 60% of the time. So it's a classic choose your adventure.
It was successful, I would say.
It was great. No, it was fun. We enjoyed that.
9 unique story paths, 43 possible endings, and our daughter's going to make sure we explore them all.
Now we know that sometimes you've got the little ones with you, like me.
We have a 3-year-old with us.
And what would be better to talk about? Especially in the Cretaceous period, when Tyrannosaurus was out there being the big old king that he was. Rorosaurus.
So if you can, we own this one, and we've really enjoyed. We'll show it because it's PopUp.
This one has made it through 2 children.
Survived thus far, but
you go ahead and talk. Well,
somebody lost his microphone. So this is actually one of the rare books that we purchased before we had children, when we were just 2 young newlyweds dreaming about having kids, and we saw this book and we couldn't resist because it's a pop-up book about dinosaurs.
And what's cool is the pop-up, some of them, this one has you pull and he's running because Rorosaurus scares him. But then there's a couple where they actually have here it is. So the pop-up is an animation. So he's going down to, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, the reason we brought this up, not that you have to get Rorosaurus, although we'll link it in the show notes for you if you want to get it from the library, but if the libraries have pop-up books. Anyways, feel free to add in books for the little kids. Even our first grader loves Rorosaurus. So, we're doing so much academic stuff, right? We're learning all about fossils, and we're learning about the plate tectonics and mass extinction and all of these kind of really heady topics. Yep. Don't forget to just have fun with this. Mm-hmm. Pick fun dinosaur books. Do fun dinosaur crafts. It doesn't all have to be perfect. There's a whole series of books like How Did Dinosaurs Say Goodnight? And, funny ones like that, and just lean into it because these are young learners, and we shouldn't forget that it doesn't all have to be completely all academic.
Yeah, in between your giant textbook, read Rorosaurus,
That's right.
So shows-wise, actually movies, we didn't do movie, but we did a show, Camp Cretaceous on Netflix. Our daughter really enjoys that show, so we let her watch a few extra episodes this week.
Right. And there is quite a bit of peril in that one. It's animated, but I still would not recommend it for little kids. Mm-hmm. Our daughter doesn't have any issues with kind of animated peril. Mm-hmm. So, but it's kids who end up back on Isla Nublar where Jurassic Park took place. And it's really kind of fun. There's a lot of Easter eggs for those people who like Jurassic Park. There's lots of neat things where they go back to the visitor center the way that it was left at the end of the movie and stuff. So, anyways.
It's good.
We nerded out a little bit on it. It's a cute show.
It's very enjoyable. Videos this week, so we talked a lot about just basically snakes. So the origin of snakes. How did they have legs? Some of the snakes did, some didn't. How did they evolve over time? What was the fossil record of that? How far back are we pushing the origin of snakes? It was really cool. A couple Eon videos on that, and then also there were a bunch of videos on the origin of the Spinosaurus and how they tried to figure out what it looked like, because they had, again, very limited fossil record of what it looked like, and they were finding, a piece here, a piece there. Really, really fun. And it was a couple of videos we watched on that, and it was, I think, that the process of discovery, the process of finding the dinosaurs and understanding piece by piece, and how finding new pieces can also change what we view about the dinosaur, and how they looked, how they lived, and this and that. So it was really interesting to watch that process kind of play out over a couple of videos. So enjoyed that. Now, crafts-wise, the end of the Earth happened in the Cretaceous period, according to the dinosaurs. And so what did we do? We did some volcano stuff.
So we have a National Geographic volcanic eruption set that we gave our daughter for Christmas.
It comes with powdered plaster. You mix some water in, and they have a couple molds that you build your volcano in. And you can see, it's pretty heavy and really nice, solid, craggy looking mold, and nice little hole inside for the, eruption powder. And then we painted it, and
they came with paints to paint the outside of it, right?
The funny thing was it's water soluble paint, so as every eruption went off, more of the volcano kind of melted off.
I feel like maybe you could maybe spray it with hairspray or something to seal it.
But it gives
Mod Podge it. I don't know.
It gives it the character.
You could seal it in some way, but anyhow, then there's a little bit of an eruption powder that you put into the center, and then it foams all over. But it will stain anything, so got to be careful on that one. But it's cool because it comes with, I think, 3 pouches of eruption powder, so you can have the volcano erupt again and again, which our kids really enjoyed. And our little one actually is addicted to volcanoes and lava and all that stuff. So talking about the asteroid hitting the Earth, triggering large amounts of volcanic activity, potentially the plate tectonics causing additional volcanic activity, thus leading to the end of the dinosaurs. They're kind of it's not just the asteroid, they're thinking it's a few other things as well, but all together. So we went ahead and did a little bit of volcano work and had a fun with it. And we watched some videos about volcanoes. So we'll link this kit in the show notes because it's really, really cool from National Geographic.
And the Eons videos had a couple of really good videos on the end of the dinosaurs. So a bunch of nice mass extinction events. Also, the various dinosaur books talk at length about the theories around how it ended, where they think it happened. Obviously off the coast of Mexico, they have the crater there. They think that's where it happened, but some other people have some other ideas as well. And so it's nice to bring in the other theories, and maybe it was a combination of all of them that led to it.
Was there at least one volcano involved?
There was a volcano. This one. This volcano. Anyway, so that was the end of the Cretaceous period. We had a good time. We have one more week of dinosaurs, which is kind of the wrap up, and we'll maybe give some of our ideas about should we go back now that we've killed off all the dinosaurs?
Right.
Should we go back and talk about more dinosaurs and mammals?
Right. So it's going to be talking about pterosaurs.
Pterosaurs specifically, the flying dinosaurs, early birds, and mammals. The mammals that were
because some mammals were starting as dinosaurs were. I mean,
all the way back to the
we always
Jurassic
think about things as like this cut off and then this began, but there's always overlap
There's
as one.
a lot of overlap.
Decreased in one and one rose.
Yep,
so.
absolutely. So follow next week or 2 weeks from now when we could put the next, or whenever we put the next video out.
We're working hard,
guys.
Yeah,
we're working hard. We got day jobs here, all right, people? Come on. Anyway, thanks so much for walking with us through the dinosaurs.
It's very late.
It's late, guys.
Side note, our youngest would not...
Yes, go ahead.
Our youngest would not go to bed until after 10.
At least a baker's dozen. She came out of her room today.
We're recording this very
We're setting
late.
up for this. There's lights and cameras and everything. And she comes out and she's like, no, Daddy, can't go to sleep.
She goes,
I gotta go potty again.
Don't want to. She just said, she had all these excuses. She had to go potty. She needed to drink.
I'm unsure of this sleep thing tonight,
Then
guys.
she was finally like, don't want to. I was like, you know what? I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you're just going to say, I don't want to do this right now.
But what is she doing right now? Sleeping.
That means that this video is being recorded very late, so excuse us.
The little cherub is sleeping.
I want to fill you guys in on the realities of this, because I think sometimes you think
homeschooling is not beautiful lighting and wonderful makeup and
the
beautiful,
kids do exactly
and beautiful
what you say.
clothes.
Perfect crafts.
There's a lot of imperfect life here. So yes, you have a hall pass from the Homeschool Together guys. You have a good time and don't take it too seriously.
Thanks for staying up late with us, you guys.
See you next week.